Skip, I gave you an 8, and the reason why I didn't give you a 10 is because the opponent that you were playing. That was an inferior opponent that you took apart late in the ball game. It was 21-19 with about 30 seconds left in the third quarter. And all of a sudden, the game goes to 34-19. I say, man, forget this. The Cowboys going to win. I'm going to go shave, start getting ready for tomorrow.
Wait, you're going to shave at night?
Yeah, I shave at night. Yeah.
Well, what about this morning?
No, I'm never getting no
Well, does it grow so slowly you can get away with shaving at night?
By 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll need it, but I'm good in the morning.
Well, I have to shave in the morning.
I'm sorry. I'm not getting
Or I'd have a little, like,
little snowball.
I'd have like a 6:30 a.m. shadow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, Skip, I'm saying to myself, I say, okay, I'm shaved. You know, I come back. The game's over. It's 54. Now, hold on, wait a minute. How did they score all these points? 33 points in one quarter? And, Skip, I understand that the Colts had an outstanding defense. I think they came in with the 6th ranked defense. But when your offense turns the ball over 5 times, Skip, I don't really know a very, very, very nice way to say this. I think the last 2-3 weeks we've seen the Indianapolis Colts on a national televised game. It's time. Matt Ryan, it's time. It's time. You've had 14, 15, 16 great years. It's time to go right up into the sunset. Skip, it's awful. He's going to. Jeff Saturday's saying, man, I came out to do for this. I don't want no parts of this. I wish it was Friday, but it's Saturday. Skip, look, when you play an inferior team, you take them apart. And if you go back and look at the stats, I looked at the stats last night. I look up the stats and I say, hold on. How do you score 53 points and you don't have 400 yards of total offense?
54 points.
Yeah, you score 54 points.
Yeah.
You don't have 400 yards of total offense.
You don't.
You don't possess the ball for 35, 40 minutes.
You don't. No.
Well, when the team turns the ball over 5 times and you get a scoop and score, you start the ball on like the 15 a couple of times. That's how you do it. So give the Cowboys credit. Dak made the one mistake through a bad interception. Give Stephon Gilmore a great job. He did a great job of reading and beat Michael Gallup to the point.
He did.
But Skip, the Colts, I don't know what to say about the Colts, but this is about the Cowboys. I was impressed with the Cowboys with what they did. They attacked them. They did a great job of limiting Jonathan Taylor, did not let him put his imprint on the game, held him to 82 yards on 20-something carries, but he didn't have that explosive Jonathan Taylor day.
He did
that
not.
150, that 160, that we know he's capable of.
Yep.
The Cowboys also did something. I gave him an 8 also, Skip, because of season low in penalties. They only had 3 penalties.
That is true.
Well, if you have 3 penalties, you take the ball away 5 times, you run the ball for 220 plus, Skip, you're going to win a lot of ball games. Now, I don't know how many teams they're going to play that's going to give them opportunity, that's going to turn the ball over. They sacked the quarterback a few times, not like what we're used to seeing them do. But I gave them an 8. I can't give them a 10 for the simple fact the opponent that they were playing against. But other than that, there's nothing to hold your head down about because when you turn it over once, you take the ball away, +4 in that category, 3 penalties, season low in that category. You're still 31st in penalties, but 3, that'll win you a lot of games. And I like the balance that they had between Pollard and Zeke Elliott. They were outstanding last night, but I only gave them an 8.
My turn.
Go do it.
We're about to have role reversal on this show. I always tell you, I am the oxymoronic objective Cowboy fan. Sometimes I am overly objective. Right. I'm harshly objective. And I'm about to be that right here, right now, to launch this show on this day.
Okay.
Scale of 1 to 10 on the impressive scale last night, I am a 1 for my Cowboys. You're an 8, and I'm a 1. And I slept on it. Now, I was thinking of a 0. I was thinking, but I decided I would go for a 1.
Because he dilly-dallied around with him, didn't he? That's why you gave him a 1.
No, I'll do it off the 3 penalties. How can you only have 3 penalties in a game? I thought it was impossible for this team to have 3 penalties, but it did for a grand total of, what was it, 43 yards or something? Okay. I'll give you that. I like the fact that it was 5 turnovers to 1.
Right.
But, again, you have to consider the source of those turnovers, and it's the aforementioned mostly Matt Ryan, right?
Yeah.
And yet we did move all the way up to 2nd place overall in turnover ratio in the NFL to those Eagles, and they're still Eagles fly. Yeah. They're +13. We're all the way up to +9. So I like the takeaway from it. But I am here to tell you, in all my years of covering the game, you played at the Hall of Fame level. I don't believe I've ever in my life seen a more misleading score than that score last night. I think my Dallas Cowboys with Jerry Jones as the ringmaster, managed to play the most bizarre game I've ever witnessed. Because I'm here to emphasize your point. Late in the third quarter, well, actually 3:43 left in the third quarter, would you believe the Colts are going for 2 to tie the score?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to walk you through this slowly but surely, but let's go back to Dak Prescott. I thought Dak was, I'm going to be nice about this, below average last night. Would you believe that Matt Ryan in QBR had a 57 to Dak's 40, and I thought that was legit. I thought Matt Ryan, especially for 3 quarters, outplayed Dak Prescott, 57 to 40 in QBR. Okay, so a few plays passed. They actually ran CD on a couple of reverses, which I like to see because you want to talk about yak attack. He can run after catch. Okay, so now to the play in question that you talked about. It's just a bad idea. This is arguably still the best cornerback in football. He is physical. He is strong. He commands his position.
He can't run like he once could, but he's tremendous at film studies.
And Gallup kind of flopped down like he got. No, it's just the way this man plays football. But I'm going to go back to my quarterback, number 4. It's just a bad idea.
Right.
You can't try him like that. And I don't know if he's saying, I'm going to come back and get you after you nearly got me. But he got you back. He could have had you twice. And remember, 1st and 10 at the 12 was the first one.
Yes.
Well, if Gilmore hangs on, they might go up 17 to 7 at that point. But instead, that happened. Okay. So Gilmore picks it off, and they get a field goal, and all of a sudden it's 14 to 13. Then we get a tipped interception that Malik Hooker takes and runs back, and we score a quick one at the end of the half, and it's 21 to 13. Now we get to the point in question, the point of no return. All right, if we could see what happens with 3:43 left in the third quarter, that kid Alec Pierce, who's pretty good out of Cincinnati. He's pretty good because he plays big and he high points the ball and he'll go up in 50-50 volume. And Anthony Brown is now obviously gone for the year. So my second and third best cornerbacks are gone for the year.
Right.
That does not bode exactly well down the stretch.
Kevin Jones is going to have to grow up real quick.
Kelvin, he's boss man fat, right?
Yeah, he got
And Jerry stood up, vouched for his football character last night. I don't know about his football character. I'm not sure about it because he got kicked out of LSU and went to Kentucky, and then he had the incident where he happened to be riding in a car in which a drive-by shooting took place.
Skip, I don't care about his football character. What about the football player? That's what you need now. It ain't about the character. Can he play football? Because he's going to – Stephon Diggs, they're not going to mess with Stephon Diggs. He's about to get a lot of balls thrown his way.
A whole lot of footballs, and yet that Deron Bland came out of nowhere. He's their second fifth-round pick, and he had a couple later interceptions.
Correct.
We'll get to those in just a moment. But now I want to show you what happened even worse. We get to a play – this is 2nd and 6 at the 35. So they go for 2, by the way, and miss. Okay, so it's 21 to 19.
Correct.
You can see what's happening. We're in huge trouble at this point.
And then on top of that, Skip,
there's a penalty.
You get
I don't know if we have the penalty.
Helmet,
but we get a helmet. It is actually like a legal blindside block, but it could have just been a helmet-to-helmet call. But again, we get to. Not only is it not an interception, but we get to tack on 15 yards. Well, this is the game right here because if it goes the other way, I'm thinking, oh, my God, we could lose this game.
Right.
At this point, I tweeted, this is embarrassing. That's what I tweeted. That's why I'm going to give him a 1 on – I first guessed it because here we go into the fourth quarter. And Indianapolis is outplaying us.
So, in other words, you gave them a 1 because you're like, hold on, this team, you're so much superior to this inferior team, and here we are late in the third quarter, and it's only a 2-point game.
Yeah.
So you forget that they stepped on the gas in the fourth quarter, Skip, and took off on them.
Okay, but here's the point. I had just witnessed that throw to Alec Pierce. You realize Matt Ryan had led them on a 90-yard drive in 15 plays. And in the first half, he had a 79-yard drive in 5 plays. Right. So was my defense exactly heating him up? Not yet. Right. Not yet.
They got him a couple of times, though.
Okay, but not like I expected.
Right.
And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. I looked up the participation just to make sure. Micah had 50 snaps, hand in the ground, so to speak. He doesn't put his hand in the ground, but as an edge rusher, 50 snaps, only 1 snap at linebacker. So they did it the right way.
Right.
And Micah was woefully quiet last night because he just didn't make much happen.
Just like I believe Jalen Hurts seeds to the front of the league in MVP. Nick Bosa is in the front for the defensive player of the year.
I can't argue against that because he was a monster.
Okay.
You saw what I saw. He was a flat-out monster because he destroyed Tua yesterday.
He had that 14 and a half.
Tua played even smaller than he was, but that had a whole lot to do with Joey Bosa. Nick Bosa, who's flexing I got it, but I kept waiting for 11 from Evan. My oh Micah, where are you, Micah Parsons? And they were scheming him, and they were screening him, and they were running through him and behind him, and they were doing all kinds of things. But he wasn't the one who caused fourth quarter havoc.
No.
So all of a sudden, off that one play, now we get to the offensive play of the game. And I will tell you this, a bright spot for me is CeeDee Lamb continues to emerge as a force, as a top 10 receiver. I can't do it off the numbers because he only caught 5 balls, but it seemed like he caught 10 balls last night because the two reverses he ran. So there are 4 in a row, and they came like boom, 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 boom. 4 in a row, and to your point, you're shaving, and all of a sudden, it's 54-19.
Yeah.
So they got outscored 33-0 in the fourth quarter.
The second most points, Skip. That's the second most fourth quarter points since the merger.
Ever scored.
Ever scored. Yes.
It tied for the second most.
Yes.
It was also the most points scored in any quarter ever by a Dallas Cowboy team, 33 points.
Well, most points scored this year by any team also.
That's historic. Okay.
That's twice you've done that, Skip. You've done some things that you've never done before.
Okay. And by the way, over the last 2 years, we have scored 50+ 3 times, and that's the whole league has had 3 of those.
Right.
So we have the nuclear capability to explode on teams.
Yeah. But Skip, like you were saying, if you just look at the numbers and not you didn't watch the game, you just look at the numbers, you're like, okay, there was 7 of 13 on third down, 54%. That's good. 1 of 1 on fourth down, 385. You're like, okay. 23 first downs for the Cowboys, 18. You're like, man, this was a close ball game. Time of possession is not that out of hand. How the hell did the team get 54 points with only 385 yards?
385 total yards, right?
In all my years of playing and watching, I've never seen something happen like this.
Okay. Matt Ryan had 12 first downs passing. Dak Prescott had 11 first downs passing. So if I told you that stat, and I asked you the final score, you wouldn't say 54-19, right?
No.
And then I look at, as you said, time of possession, but the Cowboys were 4 of 4 in the red zone, but Indy went 2 of 3 in the red zone, and you'd think, well, that's scary. Like that could.
Skip, now I got the call in question. You talked about how Matt Ryan had a higher QBR than Dak Prescott. How? He had 3 interceptions and a fumble. Dak had 1 interception. He threw 3 touchdown passes. How does Matt Ryan out QBR him? In what light year? He was 21 of 6, 21 of 37. Dak was 20 of 30. So I'm trying to figure out how does the guy who throw for less touchdowns, throw more interceptions, has a fumble, get sacked more, and somehow his QBR is higher, Skip?
Okay, it is a subjective stat, but in the end, it's because for the first 3 quarters, he clearly outplayed Dak Prescott because they had those long drives, and he was really good.
Like
he made a bunch of really good throws.
But you tell me an NFL game is 4 quarters.
Okay.
So did they stop taking QBR after the 3rd quarter?
Okay, I got you. But in the end, when I sat back and looked at my bright spots versus my ugly spots, I was not impressed. In fact, overall, it felt more like I was watching a pretender than a contender, even though my schedule is set up beautifully.
Yes.
I do believe my team was looking ahead. I think it's looking ahead dangerously to Christmas Eve.
Okay.
I think it looks at the schedule like, oh, we got the Dolts. They're not the Colts right now. They're the Dolts. So we've got the Colts. Then we got Houston at home. Go to Jacksonville, who got shredded and waxed by Detroit yesterday, who scored 44.
The Lions can score offensively. They can put points on you now.
I got it.
Had your boys in trouble.
Again, at Jacksonville can be dangerous. You know what they did to Baltimore 2 weeks ago. But again, you would set it up and say, well, you can win those next 3 to get to your revenge game against Philadelphia.
Right.
And if you happen to win that game also, you would be 12-3.
Right.
Well, that would work because then you have to go to Tennessee. That's no bargain.
Right.
And you have to go to Washington to close it out, and that's no bargain.
Yeah.
But maybe that won't even matter.
That's a rivalry game, and they did tie. Did a great comeback and tied the Giants. I think your two games are going to be back to back. Like you mentioned, the Christmas Eve game against the Eagles and then Tennessee. But looking at the way the Eagles played yesterday, Skip, good luck.
They feel like they are uncatchable. And I look at their closing schedule, it ranks the 18th toughest. Dallas's is the 17th toughest. But when I look at the Eagles, they go to the Giants, they go to Chicago, that's win-win. Then I think they're going to lose to the Cowboys. I'm already on record with that. But then they finish at home with Saints and Giants. Okay, what if they win 4 of their last 5?
Well, you can't catch them. You can't catch them. Even if you win out, you can't catch them.
No, you can't catch them. So in the end, all I know about last night is it's over. All I know about last night is it went in the win column. All I know about last night is it does not bode that well going forward because I don't know who my cornerback. I don't know if Deron Bland can he's a slot corner.
Right.
He ran 4.45 in his pro day out of Fresno State, played at Sac State for quite a while, and then finished last year at Fresno State. Can he move outside and play the outside
You
corner?
better hope so. Well, but Skip, you should be proud. The Cowboys are 1 win away from having double-digit back-to-back winning seasons since the first time since '96. If the playoffs started today, you know who y'all got, right? At the 5th seed,
okay.
4th seed would be the Bucks.
Okay.
Y'all would go to Tampa.
Okay.
You would like that matchup. You would love that matchup.
Well,
You would pick the Cowboys. I guarantee you pick against the Bucks, the way the Bucks are playing and the way your Cowboys are playing.
I would have to see how the Bucks are playing at that point because they have a hellacious finishing schedule to me because they got their nemesis Saints tonight, then they have to go to San Francisco, then they go home and play Cincinnati.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. San Francisco, we're going to talk about this a little later. San Francisco without Jimmy G. Can Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, who was the last pick in the draft this year.
By the way, I like Brock Purdy. I watched him for 4 years at Iowa State. He's pretty good, but he ain't no Jimmy G at this point. With
You're asking a rookie quarterback with very little experience to take you all the way.
I agree.
But their defense is legit.
It looks like it's the best in football.
Their defense is legit.
Yep. So all I know for sure is my Cowboys are 9-3, and I'll take it and run with it.
I mean, you talk about this. I'd rather be let on Hurts. Everybody hurts.
Yeah, everybody hurts. I tried to warn you.
Cowboys gonna hurt.
I tried to tell you. Yep.
11-1. Did you? I didn't know they were 11-1.
Maybe we're gonna have to beat Philly twice.
You ain't beat nothing. You're not beating nothing.
We might have to.
As a matter of fact, they're gonna sweep you.
We might have to go back to Philly for the NFC Championship.
You're not going back. You're not going back.
We might.
Philly gonna come in.
Nope. You want some cases right now? I'll take it right now.
You talking real big?
I'm on record. I've got Dallas over Philadelphia. Revenge will be served on Christmas Eve. It's going to be a very merry Christmas Eve.
Your team just scored 54 points and you gave them a 1 on the impressive meter, and now
I'm just being honest with you. I didn't like it.
You just gave them a 1.
You know what? But it's a dub. They did not come to your restaurant last night.
A.J. Brown. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine A.J. Brown on Brown, a boss man fat? Or Devontae? Which one you want boss man fat to go?
We'll figure it out.
Good luck figuring it out.
Maybe it'll be bland.
You just never know where Skip is going to go
bland.
when it comes to evaluating his Cowboys. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.